Welcome to Doing It My Way by Beata Matras, a podcast about project and product management, communication, brand, and IT. All these topics will definitely improve and have a positive impact on your career. So join me today, subscribe, and expect a new episode every week. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Today, my guest is Paulina Augustowska, known as Pani od Projektów. Paulina turns ideas into projects. She is an effective project manager with a rich background in multiple industries such as automotive, e-commerce, and finance. She excels in leading diverse teams, including engineers and marketers, and has experience working with both local and international groups. Her expertise is recognized in her role as a judge for the Polish Project Excellence Award, where she evaluates a variety of projects annually. In addition to her corporate achievements, Paulina has built her own brand, Pani od Projektów. So, if we translate it to English, it's a lady from projects. And this initiative reflects her commitment to empowering small businesses. Her mission is to mentor and guide these companies, helping them to transform their ideas into structured and successful projects. Welcome, Paulina. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Beata. Thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure. And actually, it is my first podcast in English. So you are the first one inviting me to explain and to share my insights and knowledge about project management and other things in English. So thank you very much and welcome, everybody.
Yeah, it's great to hear. It's great to hear because I'm a fan of experiment and encouraging people to do the things for the first time. And I'm happy to be here with you with your first time experience. So maybe we will kick off from the question about your professional journey. Could you share with us some details of your professional journey and what experiences have shaped you into the expert you are today?
Absolutely. Well, I think the main thing that shaped me is the diversity of industries I've been part of. Well, this is what you mentioned actually in the introduction. Even better probably than me, you know, that I started in automotive industry. And actually this diversity, this variety of industries give me a wider perspective and probably ability to understand the problems of different sectors and different businesses. So I started in automotive industry, then worked in retail e-commerce, only half a year in finance. So I have some smaller knowledge about this sector. And now I'm in restaurant business. And there is one more thing, because I realized that I've been conducting a training session since this time in automotive. But I was giving training session about quality management there for engineers. But I also realized, but it was much before when I started teaching, because you need to know that I was studying Romance philology, so nothing connected to project management, actually. And we had classes about teaching methodology. And I even did an internship at high school, and I was teaching teenagers French. And I perfectly remember one day when I was explaining some difficult aspect of French grammar, and I heard the girls talking to each other on the corridor, and one of them said, "Well, I finally understand it." And this was the moment I think I realized that I like making people's lives easier and explaining complex things in a simple way. So this is the summary of my, let's say, career from these different industries. And also, this is how I explain the reason why I am giving training sessions right now.
Yeah, and I think It's great to hear that you really like making complex problems into like very easy solutions or very easy. I think this is like the definition of expert is actually to simplify things. Yeah. So great that you mentioned that. You also like shared a little bit of story behind Pani od Projektów. But can you tell us more and what motivated you to start building your personal brand?
Well, first thing, I like the way you translate this Pani od Projektów, because I was always struggling how to translate it. So you said
A
lady
lady
from
from
projects, right?
projects. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because my first idea was Project Lady, but you know there's this TV show Project Lady, so I don't want to be connected to that. But Lady from Project sounds great. So okay, talking about the history about Pani od Projektów, Lady from Projects. So I think it was about 2 years ago when I noticed a gap in the project management community, especially on Instagram. So I realized that the platforms like LinkedIn, they were rich in information about project management and networking opportunities. And Instagram was somehow untapped source. There were not many people there talking about project management. Right now, this community is getting bigger and bigger, of course. And I was surprised because Instagram is quite vibrant hub, and also vibrant hub for smaller entrepreneurs and virtual assistants. And those smaller entrepreneurs and those virtual assistants, they were constantly initiating and managing projects. So I thought that they might need support to run their businesses. So I saw this opportunity that I might help them, because it is like the same thing we are doing in big corporations. But of course, the scale is different. So those entrepreneurs, I realized they didn't need the theory, of course, of project management. They needed practical, actionable advice that they can really, that it could make a difference in their day-to-day business. So this is how this idea of lady from projects was born. So I wanted to bridge somehow this gap and create a space for those dynamic smaller entrepreneurs and also virtual assistants, and so that they could find some useful information about how to run projects, how to use some interesting and helpful tools, some inspirations about how to manage teams. So I want somehow to, demystify this project management, and do not only talk about some big corporation processes, but also to use my practical experience and just to talk to them and inspire them how they can how they can use this project management framework in their daily life.
And that's inspiring. I mean, you basically found the gap and decided to fill it because, yeah, I mean, we both work in corporate world where everything is made overcomplicated, I would say. Sometimes we like to call this the simple tools, the simple things in a very like complicated way. Not sure why, maybe to look and sound a little bit smarter sometimes. But yeah, to be honest, some basic fundamental rules can be found everywhere. And it's our task, I think, to more like simplify it rather than make it complicated and not available for everyone. Yeah. And I think as again, as you spoke in the beginning, you are an expert. So you decided to actually pass this knowledge to other people and to make it simplified, which I totally admire. But can you explain what personal brand means in the context of project management and why it's important for professionals in our industry, and I mean in corporate world, for example?
Well, I think not only in project management, but generally speaking, personal branding for me, it is what is fundamental in personal branding. It's about the individual and the uniqueness about a person. I know it might sound quite trivial, but it is about being authentic, about being yourself. But especially Instagram, here it is quite distinct, because on Instagram, your followers are much more interested in you as a person. So so building a trust and also simply making people start to like you. It is all about explaining how you do things. It is about showing your background of work. And I've seen many profiles, professional profiles from project management area that gave up on Instagram because they were not seeing the results, and they said that it doesn't work. But what I felt is that the thing that was missing there was this authenticity in their way they were explaining things. And Instagram followers, they are not just interested in strictly factual contact, but there is this need about seeing your life and seeing how you do things on the background. And of course, I'm also far away from sharing my entire day, starting from my first coffee and finishing by going to bed. But also there is this beauty of Instagram that you can choose what you want to show. So it is me who has the camera. So of course, Instagram is like Big Brother, but on Instagram, I am Big Brother. So I can choose what to show. So there is this positive thing about being on social media.
Yeah, and it can create interesting narrative, because sometimes, if there's like also something like, if you do not post a lot, for example, or post on the story on the Instagram, it looks like you're not doing anything interesting, but sometimes it's the opposite. Actually, you're doing so much that you forgot to post about it because you're in a constant like move or rush, or no projects are coming in, and you're basically busy.
Don't have time.
Don't have time. But it's good that you mentioned that we can actually choose what we want to share and should share, and experiment, with what our followers like and what they don't. But kind of try to build the relationship, because Instagram is all about building the relationship. With LinkedIn, I think we are building our like professional image, and with Instagram, you can actually build relationship. And that's why, for example, I love this social media, because you can show more than this like first impression that is right now like visible only on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I think Instagram here is the most social media, because all of them, they are called social media. But I think Instagram is the most social from the other ones, because as you mentioned, LinkedIn, it is much more about being professional and rather sharing your knowledge than getting in relationships with the others. TikTok is quite completely different, because you are not really building a network of connections. But Instagram is distinct, because here you can see that also in project management, that you have this community about people like you and me, and we are probably, each of us are talking to each other on DMs and explaining some things. So this is distinct, and this is why I like Instagram.
Yeah, agree. And even like meeting new people in the same field, or like with, for example, IT and something like that, it gets easier via Instagram. You just, write DM and are not very like professional. Like, would you like to, for example, record a podcast, or do you know something about this or that, and like these people are just, yeah, okay, I can help you. So it's much easier to think to build the relationship, because there is no, I think there is like actually less masks. I think people on Instagram are more authentic than on LinkedIn, but that's just my opinion and experience. I think from what I for now discovered, like they're more approachable, I would say. Even experts that I know from there, they're more approachable. But coming back to the personal brand building and the questions to you, what were like the initial steps you took in creating your personal brand? Why you choose Instagram and TikTok over, for example, LinkedIn? I think we said a lot about that already, but let's make it clear.
Sure. So, as you said, I've probably already answered that. So, first thing, why Instagram? The answer is simple, because I like it. And it is also like, when during training session, people ask me, Paulina, what tool shall I use to improve my effectiveness, to, for example, to manage tasks? And that my answer is also always the same. Choose the tool that you like. So this is why I also chose Instagram. It's because I liked it. And I already said why I like it. LinkedIn and TikTok are not, even if I'm present there, they are not my favorite channels. And now, how to do that? So what were the first steps? So I think I will not discover anything here, and it will sound a little bit cliche, but what you should do is step by step. So I started more as an observer, probably. I was seeing what I like and what I didn't like. And I remember participating in a challenge organized by photographer account. And I think it lasted a week. So it was like a beginning of my account. And this challenge, during this challenge, you had to post something every day. And every day there was a subject. And the hardest part during this challenge was the selfie. So you needed to post a selfie. I really struggled with that. And I remember when I did it, right now it is quite, everyday work for me, posting something or making a videos. But at this time, more than 2 years ago, it was quite hard. But I think what saved me during those 2 years of building my account was my consistency, and also, which is connected to project management, task-oriented approach. So I planned every day, or scheduled for a week, what I should post on Instagram. And so it went. So because something was on my to-do list, for me, it was quite normal that it should be published. So this project management skill, this task-oriented approach, and this consistency, this is something that helped me a lot, I think.
Consistency and task-oriented approach. Yes, I mean, I don't have any other option just than to agree, because consistency helps with everything, building a personal brand, but also like being in shape, for example, and taking care of your health.
Yeah.
It's about small steps. And the other part, task-oriented approach. Yeah, I mean, it's again like not relying on the motivation, but more on the kind of commitment that you've done to yourself, or put something on a task list. And maybe some people say that, oh, task lists are not working, and I think you're a great example that they are working actually pretty well. But you can get lost in this endless task list and so on. So how do you measure the success of your personal branding efforts? Are there like any specific metrics or feedback that you look for?
Actually, I don't really measure it that much. I used to record the increase in followers every month, but I just stopped to do that. And well, there is one funny story related to that about measuring followers, because I remember that for this year I set a goal of 5,000 followers on Instagram. And I remember it was probably November, I think, last year. And I looked on the number and I had 2,000 and a half followers. And I said to myself, Paulina, you will not make it. You won't reach 5,000. And a few days later, it was Saturday morning, I came up with an idea of a reel about assertive emails. And I remember that I didn't really want to clean my house. So I decided that making that reel would be a great idea right now. And I did it. And I didn't even make a special video for it. I used some footage, what was already saved on my phone. And suddenly it went viral. So first on TikTok, and after on TikTok, a few thousand new followers came up. And on Instagram, it went crazy, really. It lasted about a week, but finally it stopped at 25,000. So I was even scared when I saw that number. But I think that what is important to be said, that this reel is quite controversial, because I talked there about using assertive message in a very simplified way. And this reel was aimed to rather submissive people, because I talked there that instead of saying, sorry for the delay, it is better to say, thanks for your patience. And people were like, oh my God, so we shall stop apologizing right now? Is saying I'm sorry is not in trade? Is it not okay right now? So let me clarify. Of course, it is worth to apologize if it is your fault. And of course, it is a simplification. But it is just an Instagram reel. It is not an essay about assertive communication. So there is this thing that you need to understand. But talking about measuring things, I stopped to do that, and there is no more my goal to have bigger number of followers, because I also remember the day when I had 100 people on Instagram. And for me, it was like, oh my God, when I will reach 1,000, when I will reach 2,000, etc. And I remember I heard an influencer saying that try to imagine this 100 people on a football pitch. And if you see it with your eyes, there's a lot of people, right? 100. And I was like, yeah, so 100 is good enough. That was about 2 years ago. Right now, I don't really measure things, and I try to rather look what people like and what kind of information that I'm sharing. They comment a lot, etc.
That's interesting. And even like, because the moment you start measuring too much, like everything, it's the moment you very often start losing the kind of fun out of it, because it becomes like the obsession or very serious, instead of just doing something, after hours sometimes, just for pleasure or fun, and having additional hobby, I would say, out of it before. Or we don't even have to turn it into the business or something like that. It's just about having fun and being useful sometimes to other people. That's interesting approach. I love it, because it's so different from, in product management. There is like on every interview, on every LinkedIn post, metrics. How did you tackle the metrics? How do you measure? What do you measure? How you are going to increase this metric or not? And sometimes it just, as you said, luck, procrastination idea that comes to your mind and you just do it. Yeah. So I think, it's about that, about doing things. And at some point, one of these things that you've done in the past or you're currently doing can work out. Yeah. Maybe we could move to the topic of challenges and how to overcome them. So, during building personal brand, what challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them?
Well, my biggest challenge is time, actually. So actually, this fact that unfortunately each of us has only this 24 hours per day to be spent. So choices have to be made. And yes, of course, I work in the evenings. And yes, I work during the weekends. But I do it with pleasure. So I don't consider it work, really. And it is also comforting to know that Elon Musk has also this 24 hours per day and he manages just fine. So this is the biggest challenge I have right now. Try to find some priorities and try to figure it out. What shall I do? What is the most important thing to be done? Because with this 24 hours and also I need, of course, some time for myself, for my family, etc. So this is the thing I struggle the most with.
Time and priorities. Again, it comes back to, we all have 24 hours and we need to make choices of how to use them. Yeah, I'm also working during the weekends. I'm constantly working. But I also, like, as you said, it's a kind of pleasure for me. I just like doing that. And at some moment, I think I stopped being kind of ashamed of that I like working and that's who I am. I just like doing things. And for example, relaxing while I'm doing something or relaxing while I'm moving, for example, running. I think you're running too. So we have like something in common, like at least a hobby. What I wanted to ask about is like, is there any strategy behind Pani od Projektów for building your personal brand? Is there anything like strategy?
Well, I wouldn't call it strategy because also it sounds like big corporation, big company thing. But I always set up goals for a year and then goals for a quarter, goal for a week, etc. I work with objective and key results, and I really like this methodology. And talking about strategy, I rather try to focus myself or on one thing. For example, I try to focus on my main customers, which are smaller entrepreneurs and virtual assistants. Because as you know, the community of project management on Instagram is wider. And there are a lot of people from, for example, IT. And I might be posting things and sharing knowledge about a bigger perspective. But I just want to focus about the needs smaller entrepreneurs and virtual assistants have instead of, posting and sharing this general knowledge that other people may do. So this is my main goal, to focus on my target group and to find also what they need, how I can help them mainly. And also talking about strategy, I have this thing that I also always work with one little word. Do you know this strategy?
No.
One little word?
I don't know.
I choose a word that will be my guidance for a year. Each year I choose one. For example, I think in 2021, my one little word was try, because I was starting my business. So I just wanted to try different things. Then I think 2022, there was consistency. Or no, last year it was consistency. And this year it is go ahead. And this one little word, it helps me to guide me, because when my one little word is go ahead, when somebody like you offers me, Paulina, maybe we can do a postcard together. I said to myself, go ahead, let's do it. I don't think about it. I am not analyzing things. So it is also a kind of strategy that is behind my brand.
I really like that. I remember, I think I saw the post on Instagram actually about that on your profile. And I think I commented that even like with doing things my way or my way, something like that. That's the kind of promise I made to myself for this year. Yeah. It's not one word, but it's more like a phrase that is
Yeah, sure.
leading me. Very interesting. It's like a mission or something that guides you towards the goals that you want to achieve. Wow. And you can change it. That's the clue also. Like every year you can choose a new word. Every year you can be focused on something different.
I try to not to change it during the year, because when I choose it in December, I said to myself, okay, you should stick to that, and that's it. You cannot change it like every quarter, for example.
It's commitment, yeah, that you were working on
Yeah,
in
sure.
previous years.
Yeah.
I think, in this social media world, it's also like quite difficult sometimes to manage and decide what aspects of your career as project expert, a trainer, you decide to share or what to keep private. What's your approach to that?
Well, there are some things I cannot share, like some names of customers, for example, when I'm when I'm delivering training sessions. But I'm trying to share the things that also can be helpful for others. Like I'm sharing how I prepare for a training session, what kind of stuff I'm taking with me when I'm going to the customer. But of course, there are some things I need to keep private. And also, there are those things from my private life I do not want to share. I'm a mom of two teenagers, and you can imagine that teenagers, this is this group of people that they want to, share any photos or nothing really. So this is also the thing I need to be aware of, and have to be careful. And I want to, keep my son's life private. That's why I don't want to share those things which are connected to them actually.
Okay. So basically, like your personal life is yours. And if you think about the evolution of Pani od Projektów or Lady from Projects, how it evolved from its inception, from the start, and what have been like some key milestones, as we call it in project management world, during the growth of it.
When I think about it, I don't think it has changed that much. I always wanted to be a kind of laid back project management without those unnecessary stuff they teach in postgraduate studies, just pure practice. But of course, I feel sometimes quite embarrassed when I watch some of my old videos. So certainly the profile has gained in quality, and also it is important to remember that I do everything by myself. There is no graphic designer, no copywriter, and I even built my website by myself. And for me, right now, it is good enough. And I feel a need that I can set up the quality a little bit. I can put more focus on the quality, but definitely when I decide about changing, for example, my website, I would work with some specialists, some expert. But there is one thing that has changed also. I've given myself more leeway. So there is no publication calendar. I don't care that much about regularity. I post something when I come up with a cool idea, because also contrary to what Instagram experts say, when there is no publication for a week or even 2, absolutely nothing happens. It's not like people, leaves your account. So there is no need for stress. And I try to, not to focus right now on my task list that much. I try to rather focus about brand new ideas that come up and post something when I really feel that need and I really feel that it is important to be sure.
Okay, interesting approach. Interesting, yeah, to what the experts are saying, but it also depends on the stage you are in building your personal brand. Because
Yeah.
you already have like a lot of content, for example, on your profile. So if someone will, for example, start following you, he has a plenty of materials already like available to look through and have a look. But for new profiles, I think it's mostly about producing the content first. But I can be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for sharing that insights in Pani of Projektów evolution. Just to like slowly close our conversation, I was wondering what advice would you give to others, especially maybe especially women in project management who want to build their own personal brand?
Actually, the only advice for starting any new activity, actually, not also only building your personal brand. So there is this famous Nike slogan. Do you remember that, Beata?
Just do it.
The one that you can see on the t-shirt. Yes, of course. So just do it. And I know it sounds cliche, but most often you just have to try. And the second thing, it is what I've already said also, is this consistency. So it doesn't matter what others say. And, if they ask, in the beginning, some of my friends, they asked me, Paulina, aren't you embarrassed to show yourself on Instagram? And of course, I was embarrassed. Of course, I did. I felt that way. But I did it. And my advice is just do it and keep it doing for a long time. But it is important that you feel passionate while doing it. And eventually it will click. My first Clifton Strand talent is learning. And it also helped me because I always had this approach. Okay, Instagram profile, who does it well? And I was learning from the others. So, this would be my advice. Just do it for a long time and learn from the others.
Yeah, this is a great advice. Yeah, learning, experimenting, and trying new things, implementing them, and being consistent in that. That pays off definitely in most of the areas of life. Not only personal brand, although a personal brand is also like this kind of a space where you actually have to show yourself. So, yeah, this kind of embarrassment in the beginning can appear, but from my side, don't let I would like encourage everyone to do not let stop you from doing things just because you're like afraid or embarrassed of the comments. They will appear definitely. We can be sure that some people will come up and yeah, provide the feedback, which is sometimes unwanted. They just do it because they think that's how the world is constructed right now. Yeah, if people feel that they can like provide the feedback whenever they want on whatever topic they want, even if they are not doing things like you do. What is like your intention, or what is the one thing that you're most looking forward to achieving or experiencing in 2024?
Well, I don't know actually, because I explained you that my one little word for 2024 is go ahead. So I don't know what will happen really. I'm curious myself to see what will happen because I'm trying to also try different things. And yes, I'm not sure. We will see. I just expect 2024 to surprise me. That's it.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting because you also said before that you have goals. So I was wondering, like, maybe there is like something that you're really waiting for. But yeah, surprising. Yeah, that can probably be also a kind of a good approach to life. Yeah, because you don't have like expectations. You're just waiting for something good to happen. So the opportunities are limitless. Yeah. For our listeners, like interested in connecting with you, where can they find you online and in what ways can you assist or provide support to them?
Well, you can find me almost on every platform behind the name Pani od Projektów, and I have also my website with the same name. And how I can support. So mainly, I'm delivering training sessions, and I do it online and also on site. I help. I provide training sessions which are open, so everybody can participate. They are not only for one company. So if you follow me on my main channel, Instagram, or you can also sync up to my newsletter when I am sharing some insight, and also just giving a heads up when the next session from project management online will be delivered. So this is the main channels you can follow me.
Okay, thank you, Paulina, for our conversation. It was really good to also for me to hear a lot of tips on building the personal brand, because I'm also like still learning how to do that, and that's an exciting journey, to be honest. So thank you for being my guest, and yeah, hope to see you soon. Maybe in Warsaw, probably.
Yeah. Yes, looking forward for that. And thanks for having me here, and wish you good luck with your personal brand as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Paulina. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Doing It My Way by Beata Matras. If you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe. Remember, this podcast is a dynamic journey and your feedback is very welcomed. Connect with me on social media. I would like to hear your thoughts, questions, and topic suggestions. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes. And until next time, keep doing it your way.